Hello everyone. Today we have Mark Fielden joining us, and want to say thank you to you for allowing us to ask you questions regarding your business.
No problem.
So to begin with, Mark, we've got some quick fire questions. Tea or coffee?
Oh, coffee. Coffee.
You're a coffee. Well done. Cats or dogs?
Isn't there a pig's option?
Oh, a what?
My dad's favourite animal was a pig, and he always used to quote Winston Churchill, something like, dogs look up to you, cats look down on you, and pigs look you straight in the eye. I know that's not exactly the correct quote, but anyway, cats.
That's fine.
If I can't have pigs, then have cats.
If you have to, it'll be a cat, yeah. So if you had the choice, would it be an activity holiday or something more relaxed?
Oh, definitely moving around, yeah.
Yes?
Active, yeah.
Good. So thank you for that, Mark. So now let's move on to finding out a bit more about your business. What is the name of your business?
The name of the business is Bluetree Website Design, but that belies its total function, really. It's a very old name, back from the last century.
Right, okay, well, we'll find out a little bit more about that shortly. How long have you been doing this?
Well, the business has been running since 1984, which was rather before the internet was invented.
Now that'd be interesting then to find out as it's website design, yes.
Been doing internet-y things since 1998.
So what other jobs have you had?
What other jobs have I had? How long have you got? As you can see, I'm getting a bit long in the tooth. I started as a trainee programmer in long time ago. And I soon became a manager. We worked on one of the first ERP systems in the UK at Rolls-Royce. That's basically planning the build of aircraft engines and all the peripheral things that go around it. And then I went into production management. So 20 years after I started, I left there and joined a small startup. Mini computers were becoming current, and we transferred the ideas that we put into practice at Rolls-Royce onto mini computers and sold them to smaller businesses. And with that went a training program. So I worked on that for a bit, and then we developed a complete system for Unix, which people now know as Linux.
Yes.
So then we sold that all over the world, in fact. Which kept me busy for quite a while. So
generally you've been in the sort of computers area.
Definitely systems, computers, that sort of thing. Almost at the cutting edge of the technology, but just a little bit behind. Yeah.
Sometimes it's that people weigh it up, isn't it? It's like whether being at the cutting edge or the ones that let them do all the trialing and then you just pick up the pieces behind. Right. Absolutely. Yeah. So tell us more about your actual business and how it can help our members.
Well, we like to think of ourselves as an ethical web design business. By that I mean we host our websites on carbon neutral servers, for example, and we do things like offer a money back guarantee, and we generally don't charge a deposit except for very small jobs where we don't know the customer. You don't pay until you like what you see. And one of the things we're very keen on is that our clients own their own domains. We meet about a third of the customers we get. If they already have a domain, they don't actually control it. And if you think about it, it's a very important business resource. We've had a lot of trouble in some cases prizing the domain out of the previous owner of it, which is quite often somebody who's left the company or the original web designer. If you've fallen out with them, they can make life very difficult for you. So that's one of the main things that we focus on right at the beginning anyway. But it's that sort of thing that makes us feel ethical anyway.
Right, so you mentioned about the name and that it had some history there.
Yes. We're a family business, and my youngest son was trained as a graphic designer and started out making greetings cards. and out of nowhere he plucked the name Bluetree. When I decided that the internet was good fun in about 1998, I said, well, look, I can do the techie bits and you can do the pretty bits. So we started working together. But in actual fact, he does it all now. He quickly got to grips with the a website is a computer program, basically, and he quickly got to grips with that. And we started out actually working on big projects for big companies, doing all manner of things, running pay-per-click campaign for a big software house, for example, doing SEO for the same company. But the big projects are difficult because you get lots of money for a short time and then you get no money at all. So you've got to try and smooth it all out. So as it turned out, one of the biggest projects we did early on was to develop a content management system for a dyslexia guru. This is a lady who worked at GCHQ. She's dyslexic herself, her husband is dyslexic, and so are her 2 children. And that, obviously, she studied the problems and came up with a bunch of solutions and developed, she left GCHQ and developed, I guess, a resource, a big manual, which helped managers how to manage people with what were then called hidden disabilities.
Yes.
So dyslexia, dyspraxia, and so on. And she went all over the world doing lectures and talking to conferences and about this particular subject. But her manual was a huge book, and I guess round about the turn of the century, they wanted somebody to put it online, which we did on their own server. So it was an internal document, and they then sold it to a bunch of people like London Fire Brigade and big organisations with managers, because around about that time, a big company was obliged to take on people with disabilities, and she expanded the resource to cover all kinds of things. So we developed a website which they then sold, and it was implemented on the customer's intranet and branded for the customer, so it looked like their own document. They made a lot of money out of that.
I can well imagine, yeah.
It kept being updated, and we used to update it. So David, that's my graphic designer's son, does what all developers do, develop tools to make life easier. And that basically is a sort of standard manufacturing principle, continuous improvement. We keep looking for ways to do things better. And we did that for a while, and then he stumbled on another customer. Oh, I should have mentioned, the resource was actually implemented in the Cabinet Office and made available to various government departments from there for a long time. I don't think it's still there, but they've run it for quite a long time. But then he got a customer. We got a customer which was a local project management company, a change management company, and they developed a similar manual based on what's called the Prince 2 standards. Prince 2 is project management standard. That's right. And so we developed a similar sort of thing, and again, more and more tools for updating this thing. And then after a couple of revisions, it acquired a graphical interface to make it even easier to use. And they sold it to various people. I can't think of any off the top of my head. Cardiff University, I think, is one of them. Okay, the Mighty Group. Yes, so it's around all over the place. And again, David still maintains that from time to time, making changes to it and so on.
Oh, that's excellent.
But again, how to get out of this feast and famine problem is the tricky one. But so we sat down and chatted for a while, and we realized we actually had loads and loads of components with which we could write a very simple CMS. We had been using WordPress for smaller clients, but it's got a lot of foibles, and basically most of them can't use it. So we wanted to obviously we make money maintaining it, but there's only a couple of us, and we can't have loads of customers asking us to do things all the time. No. So we wanted something that they could actually use themselves. So we also used to sell something called Adobe Contribute, which was, you know it, do you? Well, you know Adobe. Well, yeah. Contribute was their content management system.
That's right,
and
yes.
It was literally WYSIWYG, very, very easy to use. But they pulled the plug on it. And that was the trigger. Right, yeah, that was the trigger for us to develop our own CMS. And so that's what we have at the moment.
Wow, lovely.
Yeah.
Oh,
we particularly like small companies,
yes.
And startups, people who don't have much time, don't have much money. So if they want to make a quick tweak to their website, they can do it using a web browser, basically.
Good, and I like the fact that you say about the carbon neutral servers as well.
Yes, it's a company called Memset. They actually host a load of government websites as well, and they have a couple of server farms connected directly to the internet backbone in terrorist-proof bunkers somewhere in England or the UK. Yeah. It's quite important your website needs to be hosted in the UK.
Yes, that's right.
For speed and for Google and all the rest of it. And they're not the cheapest by any means, but their support is excellent. And websites never go down, basically, no. So rarely that you can't actually tell.
No, that's good. That's good. That's really excellent. Mark, that's been really great to have an insight into what you do. I know we've spoken lots and lots of times, but I never had all that sort of knowledge about you. No, it's been great. I'm going to ask you now. You're going to have to take you back quite a way. Can you remember what you wanted to be when you grew up?
I can remember. I didn't have a clue. My favourite occupations that kicked me out of school was playing poker until the early hours and chasing young ladies.
Ah, okay. Well, that's the first ones we've heard of that, I have to say. What about hobbies? Is there anything you'd be happy to share with us?
I do. Yeah, I like active things. I have a bicycle, but I don't ride it very often, not often enough. We have an allotment that keeps me busy and also constrains your going away time because you have to do things at certain times of the year.
Oh, that's true, actually, yes.
But my wife and I really enjoy that. And we do like walking a lot. In fact, I went for a walk yesterday. It was her birthday. We went to walk at Newark Park in Gloucestershire.
Oh, sounds
lovely.
National
Trust place. It was, yeah.
And it's
so
turning out
that's
to be
what
lovely.
We do. Yeah. I do like building houses too, but I've only ever done it once. Oh. And you're talking to me in it.
Oh, wow. Wow, great. Well, maybe next time we get a wander around the house, isn't it? You can show us round.
Yeah, I'm afraid I'm doing this on a desktop machine. So
that's not going to work then, no. Well, thank you again, Mark, for coming along today and helping us understand a lot more about your business. And it's just been great to understand more. I hope you've enjoyed yourself.
Yes, thank you, Rachel. I shall interview you next time.
Yes, maybe we'll do that then. Thanks very much, Mark.
Okay, thank you.